Get in! I'm going to include some one-on-one stuff that I've done on my channel for a while now. Like I said, it was about a 5 or 6 part series, and I'll leave that link down in the description for you to watch. But I'm going to show you some clips from that, some of the best stuff I've got, and I'm going to show you how it kind of interlinks with how Hazard plays and keeping the ball at my feet as close as I can so that they can't make a tackle the defender, whoever it is at the time. But yeah, I'm just going to include them stuff and also show you 5 easy skills, kind of easy with Hazard, because he uses a lot of skills in games and stuff like that. So I want to show you 5 skills that he can do. So yeah, just watch the full video and see all the stuff involved. So like I said, Hazard likes to keep the ball as close as he can to his feet. That way if they try to make a tackle or anything, he can go down and win fouls and stuff, because he'll normally catch his leg as well. But either way, this is the perfect time to like train and stuff 1 versus 1. If you've got a friend just practicing a little grid or a little field or something like that, that'll help. Just doesn't really make a difference as long as you've got a grid to work in. But yeah, you and a friend, just go at each other, just practice some skills, just get as many touches in as the ball. It doesn't even have to be skills. It can just be like touching the ball as much as you can with different parts of your feet. That's what I try to push in my training drills and stuff. But yeah, this is little bits of practice I use to take into matches, because when I'm not training with a team or something like that, this is like individual work that I do, just practicing on my friends, and obviously I get videos out of it to show you guys. But yeah, you'll notice I'm taking a lot of touches in these examples you're seeing, and that's just because I like to get as many touches on the ball, because I've got a bit of freedom. I've got a bit of freedom in these training drills to do whatever I want at whatever pace I can. In a game, I'd have to go a little bit faster and be a bit more direct if I want to beat the player properly. But in these examples, it's just nice to have as many touches on the ball, and that way in a game, you're more comfortable, you're better with the ball, you feel like you've got more time around you if you've got a better footwork in there. So yeah, so just give this a go and practicing with your friends. I'm just going to let some of these play out now, and hopefully you can enjoy them. Then we'll get into the 5 skills. Alright, so let's get into the first skill. So the first one we have is very, very simple. It's no real movement with the feet this time. It's more about body movement and being aware of your surroundings. This normally works when he kind of knows there's a player coming in from the side of him or in front of him or behind sometimes, and he knows he's got to get away from that defender pretty much as quick as he can, and he knows the defender's running with some pace, so then that way you can just flick it through the legs, which you can do with any part of your foot. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter the speed. You can be as slow as you want, as fast as you want. It doesn't really make a difference, but either way, you just need to be aware of whereabouts the defender is coming from. This is a skill that you normally find him doing when there's not a lot of space around him and he needs to get out of somewhere really fast and there's nowhere else to go apart from through the legs. It's also a skill that you would use if there's 2 people on you, so you go past the first one and then you're reaching for it. It's a nice little way to get through them or past them. You can go around them, you don't have to go through the legs, but the through the legs looks much nicer and it works more often than not. All I'd really say about this skill, just make sure you're using it in the right areas. Don't try this if you feel like you could just move away from the player in a different direction. It's one of them skills that it's like a last ditch thing. You've got to be able to pull it off in a situation where it has to be done. You don't want to just try and force it through. That's when it won't work. If it has to be done, it's a last minute decision and you go in that direction anyways, a nice little flick through the legs and pass it on. I'm pretty sure he scored a goal the other day against Liverpool where he did this skill and then passed it off, got the ball back and ended up scoring straight after, and it was really, really nice. So if you've seen that, then you can relate to this. But yeah, either way, just give this one a shot. Maybe it's something you don't really need to practice, but just try give it a shot in a game or in training when there's people around you and you need to do it. Okay, so like I mentioned before, Hazard does a lot of dribbling. It's not so much the skill moves he uses, it's the dribbles and how he does it. But this one's quite a nice skill if it's pulled off at the right time in the right area. So what you're going to do with this one, you're dragging it over your body and then you're coming back with the bottom of your foot to turn out in the direction originally you were going to go. Now there's a lot of ways you can do this by putting in feints left, right and centre. It doesn't really make a difference where you do the feints, but it's all about your body movement again. Like I say, a lot of Hazard skills are to just do with his body movement, how quick he gets in and out of players. He doesn't waste any time beating them, he gets past them and goes. But yeah, with this one, you're dragging it across the body first. That's selling the defender that way, and then you're turning around. You're not even going to face the defender when you're doing it. You're going to turn around and take the ball the other direction, and it's a very, very nice skill when it comes off. It can be dangerous because obviously there's no player between the ball and the defender. You're not putting yourself there. It's one of them that the space between you and the defender has to be right. If there's too much space or not enough space, the skill won't work. It can only work in certain situations. You can try go through the legs as well, which you're kind of seeing a little bit of on one of the examples, but it didn't really go through the legs. It kind of went underneath the foot, which can work as well, because if you sell the defender the right way, then you can go under the foot. Now, I know these examples aren't really showing an actual game, but at the same time, these are very useful to use. If you look at the distance between me and Elliot and me when we're attacking each other, you see that the distance between me and him is perfect. That's where you want it to be, that type of distance. If you have it, like I said, too big, it's not going to work, or too close, they're going to win the ball. So yeah, just try and like see exactly how our movement is with the skill, but also the distance between the defender and me in order to be able to pull the trick off in a game or in training or whatever. But yeah, just give it some practice before you use it against a defender. It's quite hard to do. It's like body movement stuff, so just drag the ball over, turn away from the defender and move away the other direction. But yeah, once you've got it, you'll start using it naturally, so don't worry. Alright, so this third skill is a very big favourite of mine. I love this one. I haven't done this skill since way back in the day on my channel because it was one of the combination skills that I used. And I seen Hazard use it in some examples that I watched before I made this video. And Hazard does this skill so smoothly. He's done it a few times that I've seen on these, like, you know, the viral videos that you see of Eden Hazard. But yeah, he did it so nicely against the defenders he does it against. And I've used it in a couple of games as well myself, but mainly just practicing it is kind of fun as well because it's just so smooth the way it comes off your feet and goes in the direction you want. Like, I showed Elliot that for the first time and he said like that skill he's going to try and use, and he wants to use it as well because it's super nice. What you're doing with it, you're dragging it over and stepping around it with the same foot. So for me it was my right foot, so I was dragging it over and stepping around with the same foot. It was going onto my left foot, which then allows me to do the cannon, which is, you know, one of my favorite skills again. But because it has the step over as well, the combination just throws the defender off and he or she isn't going to know exactly where to go. Now, the beauty of this skill, it's so fast that, like, if the defender even reads it and thinks he knows where you're going and gets it right, you're still going to be able to just push on and get past them anyways and still have a yard or two on them to make a pass or a shot, whatever you want to do. That's the beauty of this skill. And I like combining skills. I've done videos in the past where I've combined skills together and try to make up some of my own. And this is just one that I've seen him use and I was super happy that he did. But yeah, very nice skill. Give it a shot. Like I say, the step over is with the same foot that you drag it with. It's not the opposite foot. And try not to drag it in front of you. Make sure you're dragging it close to you so you can get that step around in order to do the step over, which your foot goes in front of the ball. The defender can't see the ball at that point, and then you release the cannon and it goes through. But yeah, give this one a shot. Give it a try. It's a very nice skill. I'm sure you'll find it useful yourself. So this fourth skill, a lot of players will use this when they're good at dribbling or just in general. Centre-backs like to use this one to fake pass it. But Eden Hazard loves this one just to turn out in different directions. Like I say, he's one of the fastest people off the mark. He might not be the fastest player in the Premier League, but he's definitely one of the fastest from the first spot of standing still to then sprinting out. The agility of his movement is so quick. And that's why this skill is perfect for him, because he wants to be able to turn out in a direction away from the defender, and even if he doesn't sell them that much, he's still going to get away with them because of the pace that he has. So this time you're going to go around the ball, and it's not like a step over where you're going left to right if you're using your right leg. If you're using your right leg, you want to be going right to left this time. So you're going to go around it, just like the example shows, with the inside movement, and then you're going outside with the outside of your boot. If you're left-footed, then obviously it's the other way. You're going to use, you know, your left foot, and you're going to go from left to right across and outside your boot that way. But yeah, it's just super nice. You will sell the defenders as well if you do it right and you put the right emphasis on the body. It's just, again, about body movement. A lot of Eden Hazard skills are about body movement if you haven't got that already. But yeah, his body movement just one of the best I've seen. It kind of relates to the same as Neymar as well, how quick he turns and his feints and everything. It's very similar. And he's just playing ridiculously good at the minute, so he's popping out all these skills that I can see. And that's why I've created this video for you today. So yeah, this one's pretty easy. I know you guys can get it in a few seconds. It's just stepping around, but it's mainly about the body movement. Just make sure you're getting the right feint in order to beat the defender so he or she doesn't actually know where you're going to go. But yeah, give it a shot. So this skill's kind of like a follow-on from the last one. Essentially, it's something you could use after you've used that skill I've just showed you with the step around. Because not always you're going to be able to use the skill over and over again, because the defender eventually will click on what you're doing and then try and read what you're going to do. So this one's a nice one to pretend that you're going to do that skill, put your foot over, and then turn out straight away. This will allow you to get an extra couple of yards that you might not have got if you did the other skill there. But just like every single skill that I've taught right here from Eden Hazard, it's all about body movement. Once again, you've got to be able to feint your ways if you're going to go left, and that's when you're going to use the skill and turn back out. You are using the outside of your foot, and there's a couple of variations you can do with this skill. There's one way you can take a couple of touches, which I think Elliot did in a couple of examples there. You can see is like he took 1 or 2 touches to get away from me, whereas there's one way you can just do it in one big touch away, which I think were in my 2 examples right there. So you can try both ways. Just make sure that if you do the 1 touch way, then it's getting enough pace on the ball away from the defender in order to get behind them or wherever else you're going to go after, because if you don't, they're going to be able to catch you up and take the ball off you if they read that. But yeah, just make sure you get enough pace if you're doing the one touch. If you keep him more touches, which Eden Hazard does as well, because he likes to keep the ball at his feet at all times, because when he does get tackled or whatever, he wins a lot of fouls, probably the most in the Premier League. That's to do with how many touches he takes and how close he keeps the ball at his feet. He's one of the best of it in the world, and that's why he's so skillful and he's just an all-around great player. But yeah, this skill is pretty simple. I don't think you guys will struggle with this at all. Give it a shot in training or with your friends or something first, and then hopefully eventually it'll come naturally in a game.